in no particular order. So this is like how we gather data. I'm not even sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is Arvis go to goal as opposed to teleop.
Are you doing that programmatically, or are you just clicking on Arvis?
No, we said in Arvis go to goal. So even though there's a person there, so what the rule is it's trying to give itself the maximum space between. So in this mode, the head is tracking, so if people appear, it will
Run you over?
No, the head will turn towards the person. It'll try to avoid. So he actually turned because there was a person standing there.
Yeah.
Right, here's another person, and you see the head actually move to follow the person.
Yeah, we're just testing some autonomous navigation algorithms.
That's Patrick's voice, yeah.
Researching it. They see it here?
No.
Sorry? Oh, with, I know the guy that kind of invented it.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy?
Stevie Cosney.
Yeah, he was the director of my place.
Right.
I worked at.
So the four green lights in the on the bottom are batteries, the battery status lights. Oops. Okay, here's a gazebo sort of view, Arvis view of what goes on. So it's drawing the boxes around people. This is static, and then it's planning routes. So I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if this is simulation. No, this is real data. This is a bag file.
Is that the same room?
It's the same room.
Is that using the depth camera and the LiDAR?
Yeah, so what the bag file is presenting in Arvis is doing the multiple things. So the bottom red is the SICK LiDAR. That's the one on the bottom. And they cut out the rest of the LiDARs, but then the blue and the pink are the global and local cost maps.
What's the area around the human?
That's an area we give around that's the no-go zone for an area around the human.
And it's trying to predict which way they're going by the fact that it's not circular.
I don't think this one is actually predicting, but it's just seeing an obstacle and then rerouting depending on how the obstacle goes.
What does SICK LiDAR mean?
SICK is the manufacturer, is a German company, SICK.
Ah.
Has nothing to do with how weak it is. Actually, they're pretty good. They're not rotating, so they're single, and so it's like a 270-degree. And
I thought they rotated internally, or maybe these are new fancy things like
those ones I think are I'm pretty sure they're static because they're not 360. But they may be moving back and forth. I don't know. But it's kind of cool. We had one on loan for Ubiquity, and it was going out the window, through the window of the next house, into the wall, and giving you a distance on that. Fortunately, the neighbors didn't get upset because no one was home. No, they're pretty accurate. So those, it's kind of funny because, you know, you actually see the ankles go by. But one of the things, one of the problems with the YOLO is when one person walks behind another person and then they emerge and it's a totally new person, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, you know, they have very limited persistence of memory.
It's 2 new people.
The other thing that's funny with these YOLO and those you know, object recognizers is they only recognize what they've been trained to recognize. So, you know, you can train it to see a horse and you can train it to see a cow, and they'll be 99%, they'll never make a mistake. But if you show it a camel, it has a seizure. It's horse cow, horse cow, horse cow, horse cow, horse cow, horse cow. It's only a robot. So this one. Oh, here's some of the other things we're doing. We're looking at emotions and tracking faces. Patrick Amir.
So when it detects a face, it's trying to do facial recognition?
Yeah, it's recognizing faces of people.
Tag yourself?
I'm sure they've trained it.
Oh, I see.
It's been trained, and after it's been trained, and I'm not sure who this guy is, but because I'm pretty sure, because this was before I started working for him. Yeah, Patrick is lurking in the shadows there.
You see you, Patrick.
Here is, here are two, right? So GoNet and Face Tracker. So GoNet doesn't know that that's a person, it's just an object, and it's tracking an object that's moving around. So that's based on movement. And then the face tracking is pretty good. We're also working on expression recognition. Let's see, show this one. Okay.
This time it has to turn around.
So this is, doing, the LiDAR is doing the obstacle avoidance on this. So it has an autonomous program running. So its RViz is giving the goal, but it's doing its obstacle avoidance based on the LiDARs.
Do you use move base or something?
It is using move base. And actually, we're a little surprised about how good that's working. So here's the RViz view of actually. Yeah, so, and there, you actually see the LiDAR of the people, right? And it's also doing the path projection for the people. This is sort of more sophisticated. And according to Patrick, it never does the whirling dervish. You never have to repose it. And I said, wow, because the LiDAR is so good, it really knows where it is in the map. But this is a known environment, and a known environment might be a little different.
But
Do you know if he's
there's a lot of
using
different
AMCL or some other?
I believe it's AMCL, I'm not sure.
That's solid now.
The main
Cool if there are more people in it, though.
is because you can.
How did you get that known environment into your system?
Excuse me?
How did that map get into the system?
Because our known environment.
This is just RViz with various panes put in.
I know, but I mean, did you have to like draw that map, or did it like figure that out itself?
Oh, how the original map was made was probably from the building architectural diagram.
No.
Wouldn't you just drive it around?
Or you can drive it around and build it too.
Architectural diagrams need no good.
You can do architectural diagrams, you have to scale.
Yeah, sure.
You have to be really, really.
But you see, this is the
Sorry.
global
There's no
and,
such thing as an up-to-date
and we basically gave it a fairly big cushion of no-go. It's actually doing, it's tracking trajectories of people.
I noticed in some parts, like the trajectories of people are kind of going askew towards right before they disappear.
You have to,
Like if you go back a little bit, or like one of the persons as well.
Zap.
I think they're running this at a slightly faster speed.
Yeah.
But it doesn't keep the door. But the door, first, well, can you see it now? The door opens, but then the door disappears.
It was a little while back. I think it was one of the people walking. You saw the dots marking the person going one way, and predicted trajectory going like the other way, like sharply.
I think I showed all my movies.
So sometimes the frames are out of sync.
Okay, so this stumped me for a while, because I didn't know in this wireless e-stop they do double redundancy. They don't trust that one relay will open up, so they had two relays in series. And I couldn't figure out why they had two relays in series. It didn't make sense. I said, oh, double redundancy. So what I did today is snip some wires, did a little surgery, had to figure out where the power to the arm was going. So they had a fuse box. Anyway, right now the arm is safe, so one power switch kills power to the wheels and power to the arm. For the arm, that's good, right? We want the arm. Killing power to the wheels is probably not the best thing, especially if you're on a slope. So somebody should have rethought that, because one time the robot, we were going up a ramp and we had a problem that the e-stop ran out of. The e-stop is very safe. If it runs out of, if the battery runs out of power, if it runs out of range, if there's some kind of power interrupt, the e-stop stops, which means the robot is going to be rolling down the hill. So, yeah, well, what you want is some sort of hysteresis lock, right? That makes a little more sense to me, but.
Or brake in the motor, or a physical brake.
Well, they're brushless hub motors, it's a Segway, so.
Well, they still have mechanical centrifugal brakes.
Yeah, I guess you could, but.
Not moving, it's stuck.
Well, the funny thing on the robot is they have these fenders on it, makes it look better, but we're not going to be going through puddles and doing rooster tails, so what do you need fenders?
The brakes kick in.
That went almost an hour. Are there any more questions? Questions? Yeah.
Are they making some of the software open source or functional?
I don't believe, I mean, some of the stuff is published, but right at Stanford, we have consortiums with companies that pay money to be the first ones in on some of these results. But Ken would have a better answer than me.
So you could look up Sylvia Savaret's website, he's the PI on it.
Yeah, he's on sabbatical right now. Yeah, Silvio is the principal investigator, and Roberto, his slide set, is the postdoc. And Patrick and I are the technical department.
When the robot got its arm ripped off, did it have an expression for that?
No, but here's the thing. At the end of March, Bill Gates is coming for a presentation, and they said, wouldn't it be great if we made the face do the blue face of death? You know, do facial recognition on the building. I don't think we're going to do that because the building is named after him.
Or do the something went wrong, like frowny face from Windows 10, or?
I don't know.
It looks like you're trying to demonstrate this robot.
Yeah, I think that would be, you know, that would be an incredibly bad idea. Fun to think about, though. Yeah.
Yeah, so ruin it.
You mentioned that they're going to be doing facial recognition of humans. Is there any other plans for other things that they'll be looking at humans, like eye gaze or body tension, body
Well,
weight?
I know we definitely want to do expressions.
Why?
And what?
Why?
See if somebody's really angry at the robot, right?
I thought you were just trying to figure out emotion.
The other thing is gestures with the arm. We want, right?
Is that fingers?
Well, it only has 2 fingers, so it can't get rid of the middle
one.
finger. There is a 3-finger version, but we do not have it.
So if you can infer that a human is angry and their arm is moving really fast, that the robot should move out of the way before it gets decked.
You know, well, I did a little work for Savio, and they told a story about, a drunk and the robot doing the tango, because the drunk would stop and the robot would stop, and then the robot would try to move, and it was like a standoff. So, but the other thing, so for example, rules of the road. In America, normally if 2 people are meeting, you move to the right, because that's, in England it would be to the left, in Japan it would be to the left. How groups of people react. If 2 people are facing each other and speaking, you know that it would be rude to walk between them. So, that rule has to be encoded. And the thing is, it's difficult to have a mathematical model to encode those rules. So that's why the imitation learning, what does a human do in this situation, important.
Can it detect if somebody's looking at their phone and not looking at where they're going?
It can detect phones.
That's not a real world phone.
It can detect phones. No, that's serious.
It's a first world problem.
Right, you as a person are aware that someone's looking at their phone. The funniest one is the guy who's walking with the phone and there's a bear. There was a little black bear. It wasn't, like a cub. He's walking. And then they both see each other and they're both terrified.
The bear didn't see him because he was texting.
Yeah. It's very, texting while walking is very dangerous.
Especially when they're bears around.
Yeah. No, we've seen those viral videos of people walking into ponds and lakes, bicycles and all kinds of things.
Just a quick question. What's the goal for this robot? Is this just for research?
This is for research.
Okay.
So, we're trying to solve the problem of the last mile delivery problem. And the problem of how do we have robots that actually live in a hospital or live in an airport? Like even Steve, you work with a company, did a little work for a company where their proposal was to have a waiter robot that would go in an airport from.
Yeah, when we were working on that,
and the proposal, that was actually one of the concepts that McDonald's came up with for us. And what we came up with at the time was we'll just have robot lanes.
Yeah.
Because they have lanes for the big, the beep beep cars to pick the handicapped people from gate to gate, and that isn't enough of a modality. You know, that's an established enough thing that we could just have a robot lane, and they're a big enough company that they can talk to the airport authority. And, you know, so yeah, rather than trying to just snake through everybody, you know, here and get them their burger in time, have a robot lane.
Yeah, it's like at some
And you
point,
need robots.
yeah, you know, a super packed cocktail party, you know, robot's basically gonna not be able to move very far.
Can your robot navigate through a crowded dance floor?
Can you robot dance on the crowded?
Yeah. No, it's just a differential drive robot, so it can spin in place, but it can't break dance.
It has the
If you
arm.
look at the video from the Antibots QB, we actually, like, at least under human control, had almost all of those issues solved in terms of navigating crowds, airports, dinner parties, you know, these kind of social things. You know, as far as the physical form factor and the fact that it was balancing on two wheels, it had a very human-like motion, and so people got a lot of cues from that, not from screens, but like body language of the movement of the robot itself, that you kind of lose with the static balancing system.
Yeah. The other thing, the purpose of the arm also is eventually to be able to manipulate objects like open a door or move a chair out of the way.
Give me my beer. Smoke a cigarette.
All right, let's do one more question. If there's any other questions, we can talk about it.
Only one instance of this?
There's only one. There was a previous iteration on a Segway base that had one LiDAR and one camera, and this guy is around a year old. And he just became, I don't know, he just became fully clothed and fully operational in the last couple of weeks, actually. And we started gathering data, the really big bag files, in December. And now they're being sent off to be annotated, then they'll come back to be post-processed. So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, gentlemen. So we have this room until 10 p.m. After that, some people like to continue discussions in the parking lot. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. And remember not to wander off into any other areas other than here, restroom, entrance. Thank you very much.